We have our first here we go of transfer deadline day, and it does involve our main target, the player we've been chasing for weeks and weeks and weeks, Matias Tel. Here we go to Tottenham. You couldn't make this up, could you? I'm absolutely fuming. But before we get into that, please do me a small favour. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let's get straight on into it. And also, of course, let me know your thoughts on this. What is your initial reaction finding out that Matias Tel is set to join Tottenham? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. This is going to be an absolutely explosive rant. I'm fuming. I just think it's actually a disgrace that this has been allowed to happen. So for anybody who's unaware, Matias Tel, 19-year-old, plays football for Bayern Munich. We've been trying to sign him for the last 2 weeks. Bayern Munich apparently rejected our loan with no obligation to buy yesterday. And they said either you buy him permanently or he's not for sale. That's the only option. He's not going out on loan. Give us the money or you don't have him, right? This was at about 7 o'clock last night, 8 o'clock last night. So Manchester United thought, we're out of the race. We don't have the money to buy him. They're not going to do a loan deal, so let's walk away. Flash forward to now, Monday, the 3rd of February, at approximately 2 p.m. Fabrizio Romano and Florian Plettenberg come out saying, Matias Tel to Tottenham on loan, here we go. And he says, straight loan with no option to buy. He says the agreement has now been reached between Bayern, the player has accepted and wants to go to Tottenham. How has this been allowed to happen? How? We are absolutely crying out for an attacking player. We're desperate. Absolutely desperate. We had another 45 minutes at home yesterday against Crystal Palace, who, let's be honest, are a mid-table side, and we didn't even get a shot on target in that first half. We didn't manage a single goal against Crystal Palace yesterday. They scored 2 against us. We had to play a CDM in Kobbie Mainoo as our main striker. And our main attacking option for this window was Matias Tel. And we've just lost him to Tottenham, who've not won a trophy for 17 years. What the hell are this club doing? What are Ineos doing? What is Jason Wilcox doing? What is Omar Barada doing? They got rid of whatever he's called, Dan Ashworth, because he wasn't a right fit. I mean, what a load of crap. Absolutely disgraceful. I'm sorry. It's an absolute disgrace. And I said this on my video this morning. All they're doing is setting Ruben Amorim up to fail. In the media, all of the focus is just on Ruben Amorim. Is the back three working? Oh, was he mean to Rashford? Oh, that's all they focus on. They don't actually look at the problem here. The problem we've got is Manchester United have been part bought by a group of people who only have any experience in chemicals, Ineos, and cycling. Their only attempt at trying to run a football club was in Nice in France, and they failed miserably. And we've brought them in as the people to take the sporting side of the club forward, and they've made an absolute mess of it. I'm sorry. And to put all arguments to bed, there'll be some people watching this video saying, oh, you're overreacting. I'm not overreacting. Let me just say this once. In the last 6 months, since Ineos took over Manchester United, as they like to tell us, the local boy who was born half a mile away from Old Trafford and loves Manchester United, even though he has a season ticket at Chelsea and tried to buy Barcelona. In the last 6 months, Ineos have got rid of 6 attacking players. Mason Greenwood, permanent deal. Anthony, loan deal. Jadon Sancho, loan with obligation to buy. Marcus Rashford, loan with option to buy. Pellistri, permanent deal. And Anthony Martial, permanent deal. They've got rid of 6 attacking players. Okay? 6 players gone in the last 6 months. And who have they replaced those 6 players with? Joshua Zirkzee. And that's it. Patrick Dorgu's not coming in as an attacking player. He's coming in as a left back, a left wing back. They've brought in 1 attacking player in exchange for Mason Greenwood, who is a generational talent. Anthony, let's be honest, was a flop. Jadon Sancho, who's a decent player. Rashford, who when he's actually trying is a decent player. Pellistri, I think, had bags of talent and could have been a decent player. And Martial, fair enough, he was injury prone. But still, he's gone to Greece and he's absolutely tearing it up for PAOK Athens. So again, what's happened there? 6 attacking players allowed to leave in the space of 6 months. And in our worst season in Premier League history, where we're closer to the relegation zone than we are to the top 4, they bring in nobody. They've brought in Patrick Dorgu, who's a 20-year-old playing in Serie A for a relegation fighting team. And that's our answer. He doesn't score goals. I think, what are they thinking? And to top it off, we've just been beaten by Tottenham to a transfer. Do you not remember what happened 2 days ago? Matias Tel publicly rejected Tottenham and didn't want to go there. And now they've beaten him they've beaten us to sign him. I mean, it's absolutely embarrassing. what world are these people living in? And then you have stories, right? You have stories coming out from the BBC, from Samuel Luckhurst, from other reliable journalists, Simon Stone, right? That apparently Manchester United are happy with the squad. And this is breaking news coming out here, apparently, right? This is breaking news. Manchester Evening News have just put out the headline that the Manchester United hierarchy are relaxed about ending the window without any more attacking players. They're relaxed. They've just seen us go another game where we didn't have a single shot on target in the first half. Another game where at home we've lost 2-0 and didn't score. And the words that are being thrown out in the media are Manchester United are relaxed. I just can't. I mean, I'm clearly not relaxed. I can see the people in my live chat are clearly not relaxed about this situation. And I know people will say, oh, you've spent $1 billion over the last 10 years. That doesn't matter. As I've just said a couple of seconds ago, 6 attacking players have been allowed to leave in the last 6 months. 6, not 1, not 2, not 3, 6. In the last 6 months, since the summer. Right? And we've signed 1 player to replace them. And that was Rasmus Højlund. Think of the other deals we did in the summer. We bought Mazraoui, he's a right back. We bought De Ligt, he's a centre back. We bought Ugarte, he's a CDM. And I said this in the summer. I cried for a striker. I didn't care who it was. Ivan Toney, Osimhen, Gyökeres, somebody. We desperately needed a striker, a number 9 who's going to actually get us goals. People can say, oh, Højlund doesn't get service. It's rubbish. It's complete rubbish. If you have a striker who is clinical, he will score goals. And people will say, oh, he won't score goals if he doesn't get service. Look at Wayne Rooney. Look at Harry Kane. They create chances out of nowhere. If you get a world-class striker, they will create their own chances. Cristiano Ronaldo was here, 2-3 years ago? He scored 18 goals in the Premier League. You can't come in with this whole agenda that the reason that Rasmus Højlund isn't performing is because he doesn't get service. How did Cristiano Ronaldo, who is a world-class striker, manage to get 18 goals in this pretty much the same team as what we have now, bar a few players? He never got chances. He created them himself. He'd shoot from outside the box. He created his own luck. Whereas Højlund's just wrestling players to the ground every game and getting beaten. He doesn't help himself. And it's just so frustrating because if our defence was solid and we weren't conceding goals, then maybe you'd say, okay, fair enough. Let's wait till the summer. We're not conceding. We're getting draws. We're narrowly winning games. Okay, let's just see what happens. But we're leaking goals at the moment. I know we've had a couple of better results in the last few weeks, but to concede 2 against Crystal Palace yesterday, it's not good enough. It really, really isn't. And I just think that, as I've said many, many times before, for me personally, Ruben Amorim is set up to fail. They're setting him up to fail. And I honestly think, and just to be very, very clear, Ruben Amorim has my full backing. I like Ruben Amorim. I think he's the right man for the job. But I can't see him succeeding at Manchester United. I said this at the beginning when he got hired. I said it's 50-50 whether Ruben Amorim will succeed at Manchester United. And that has nothing to do with him being a good manager or not. It's to do with whether the board will back him, and it's to do with whether the squad will be able to buy into his ideas. And so far, the squad look like a deer in a headlight. They don't look like they know what they're doing, as we expected. They could barely play a 4-3-3. And now you're asking them to play a different formation, and they're like, oh, I don't know how to do that. Oh, I can't pass the ball 5 yards without losing it. It's honestly disgraceful, and I feel bad for Ruben Amorim. He looks tired. He looks miserable. When you see the pictures of him when he first joined Manchester United, he looked great. He looked amazing. And now he's got lines all over his forehead, and he even joked. Our own manager said the other day, right? He's been here for 2 months. It was his 40th birthday. And he joked in the press conference saying that he feels more like he's 50 from being the Manchester United manager. He made that joke himself, which I thought was funny, but he was obviously being honest. He was saying that effectively in the last 2 months of being here, he feels like he's aged 10 years. And you can see that in his face. He looks miserable. You know what? And I'm going to say this now, and I don't even care. If I was Ruben Amorim, I would just walk away from Manchester United. And I know people are going to be like, oh, you're being dramatic, you're being reactionary. I'm not being reactionary at all, in the slightest. You've brought a manager in and not giving him the tools to succeed. And for all the people who are saying, oh, we spend money, we do this, we do that. Our net spend in the summer was like 60, 70 million pounds. That's not very much. The Glazers used to get stick, and their net spend would sometimes be around 150, 200 million. When you look at the players that we got rid of in the summer, McTominay, straight profit. Greenwood, straight profit. There was a couple of others that were straight profit. Like, we didn't spend much money in the summer. You know, you'll see all the overinflated transfer fees, which include all the add-ons and all the rest of it. But if you actually look at our net spend last summer in the first year, or the first window under Ineos, it was like £60 million. It was nothing. Man City have just gone and spent like 250 million in one window, whilst having 115 charges hanging over them. So our net spend, it's just embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. And I feel so bad for Ruben Amorim. And the thing which I actually think is more of a concern for us as a fan base is Ruben Amorim's only got 2 years on his deal. Like, his contract expires 2 years in June. They didn't give him a big 6 or 7 year contract. And I honestly think that if he doesn't start performing, right? Now, this is a really, really controversial thing, but I'm going to say it anyway because I believe it. Maybe they're not buying players because they're not sure about Ruben Amorim. I don't understand why else it would be. Give me one reason why they wouldn't be bringing in Matias Tel, why they'd be letting him go to Tottenham after we've been negotiating with him for 2 weeks. Give me one reason. We've got more money than Tottenham. We've got a better relationship, you'd think, with Bayern Munich having bought De Ligt and Mazraoui off them in the summer. Why would we be not going for him? And the only reason I can think now is maybe they're not 100% about Ruben Amorim. You know, maybe, I don't know. I just don't understand it. Why would you not back your manager? The transfer window is there to allow you to bring in players. That's the whole point of it. Why would you not support your manager in his first transfer window? Because for me, Patrick Dorgu is not going to make any difference. I'm sorry. Like, he's one player. He's 20 years of age. He might come to Manchester United and flop. Like, it's a massive risk. Whereas, I mean, I guess Matias Tel is as well. But, you know, when you see Man City spending 250 million in one window just because Rodri's injured, and we're out here buying a 20-year-old from Lecce who no one's ever heard of and getting beaten to a 19-year-old prospect from Tottenham. I mean, it's embarrassing, and we deserve to be where we are. It's just so frustrating. So frustrating. But obviously, I'd like to know what you guys think. And I honestly think this. If I was Ruben Amorim, I would just walk away from Manchester United. It's destroying his career. He's clearly a talented manager. What he did at Sporting Lisbon was absolutely incredible. I feel bad for him. I don't like on a human level to see somebody come into this club 2 months ago, full of life, smiling, looking happy. And 2 months later, he literally looks awful. He looks terrible. You can see how much is getting to him. And people will say, oh, well, he's being paid money, you know, it's part of the job. I only earn 20 grand a year and he's earning loads of money. But that's not the point. On a human level, he obviously cares. He wants the club to succeed and he's not being given the resources to do it. He's not being given the tools to do it. And people are going to be like, oh, we don't have the money. We don't have the money. That's complete rubbish. Complete rubbish. This window alone, you've got rid of Rashford, who's on 325 grand a week, and Aston Villa are paying 75% of that minimum. It could go up to 100% if he reaches certain targets. So Aston Villa are giving us 250 grand a week for the rest of the season. I just worked out 75% of his salary. Real Betis are giving us, I think it's 87% of Anthony's salary. So across those two players, we'll be getting about 400 to 500 grand per week until the end of the season. Minimum. Plus, if they perform well, there's obviously bonuses that could be added into it. So we've actually made money in this window opposed to actually spending any money. And it's just not good enough. But I'm going to wrap the video up here. I'd love to know what you guys all think about this. I mean, I'm lost for words. I'm just lost for words that the Manchester United's response to all of this is to put out a story saying that they're relaxed about the attacking options at Manchester United. How? Even if you don't watch football, right, and I say to you that we're going to get rid of 6 players and sign 1, even if that one player is world class, still just mathematically, from a squad rotational perspective, getting rid of 6 attackers in the space of 6 months and replacing them with 1, like that just doesn't add up. So I don't know. I'm not happy clearly, but I'm going to wrap the video up here. Not really much more to say. Please leave a like. drop a comment. Once this video goes live, please, please, please click back on the video and get in the comment section and let me know how you're feeling. That's what I want. I want to read all your comments. I want to have some conversation with you. So I'm going to click end on the stream now. Once this video goes live, click on our profile, get in the comments and tell me how you're feeling as a Manchester United fan now. And maybe I'll bring all the comments into a show because I think we need to keep having these conversations. It's all good and well us daily talking about transfer news that might not even happen, right? Let's actually start a conversation here because it needs to be said. So please go and do that. Once the video's live, get in the comments and let me know how you're feeling. Just to summarise, Matias Tel is not joining Manchester United. He is joining Tottenham on loan with no obligation to buy, and we are getting nobody. Thank you very much. Have a good day and goodbye.